Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to some more Williams Road to Glory. And you may have noticed yesterday there was not a video on the channel, and to be bluntly honest with you guys, I needed just a rest day, to be honest with you. And also I've had a couple of issues with my graphics card, so it kind of stopped progress from happening. Now even today I've had a couple of issues this morning, hence why the upload's quite late, but we're back on it and hopefully we should be back on the wagon now of the daily content. I think I fixed the issues, which is great. So yeah, if you have missed the previous episode guys of this series, go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of the screen. But today it's Silverstone. It's my home race, George Russell's home race, the team's home race, and we've got some massive upgrades, 2 major, 1 minor, and we're doing this to kind of counteract the fact that this is the AI's strongest circuit on F1 2020 with 110% AI. So it's going to be an exciting one. I'm going to go head first, super aggressive this race guys, so let's jump into it and let's see how it goes. If you're going to enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe for more, and let's see what happens in our home race. We jump into the weather forecast, and as you can see, no rain expected in qualifying of the race, but we are going to have a lot of rain in practice. In terms of the upgrades, you can see the massive step forward we've taken with the upgrades in the car this weekend, and we jump Renault and we are just behind AlphaTauri and McLaren. So a couple more upgrades and we should hopefully be in the top 5, top 6, you know, in that kind of slightly higher part of the midfield. So I'm really excited. Now in regards to practice, I managed to get all of the program done in a 30-minute FP3 session because FP1 and FP2 were absolutely soaked, and it's irrelevant practice in the rain because there's no data to carry over for, you know, dry conditions for the race or for qualifying. Luckily we squeezed the whole program in. We scored a hefty amount of points actually, which will leave us just under 2,000, so there could be some big upgrades in this episode, so stay tuned for that. But we now move into qualifying, and you guys know this track is tough and you need to be perfect around here to, you know, get even out of Q1, especially in the case that we're driving of course in the Williams car. So we're going to see how it goes. We jump on board now with the first time lap of the qualifying session, and in fairness it was a very strong banker. I was really happy with this one. A couple of little things here and there that obviously you want to improve, but in regards to our first lap in Q1 it was very strong. And making our way now through the final chicane, we're going to see what this first lap is as we cross the line, and we set a 23.0 and go P10 ahead of both Haas cars behind Perez and Vettel, so not too shabby. Eventually get pushed down to P11 and then eventually pushed down to P16, so we need this lap right now to get through into Q2. So we're going to go on board for a full lap of Silverstone and we're going to see if we make it. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, and I'm going to leave it all on the line to try and get into Q2. Now here we go through the final corner, running up to the line. We're going to improve by a tenth and a half. Is it going to be enough to get us into Q2? No, it isn't. Unfortunately, we miss out by about 3/10 actually, so it wasn't even that close. George Russell qualifies in P14 and gets into Q2, so fair play to George. And yeah, overall, we couldn't quite make it happen. Of course, the lap was a bit scruffy. I struggled through Cops, had a big moment with some oversteer, and probably lost a couple of tenths. Would I have got through without the mistake? I'm not sure. It would have been really, really close. Either way, it's going to be P16 and a Q19 knockout for us, which is disappointing. So in the race, we're going to completely send it. In terms of the rivalry, Verstappen does outscore us, and no real changes to the driver acclaim. But yeah, in the race, it's the home Grand Prix. I'm going to go super aggressive, more aggressive than ever. So tune in, guys, and hopefully you enjoy the race. But it's now time for the British Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to Great Britain and the Great Silverstone circuit for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula One faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Martinez. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs, so it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Albon, Pierre Gasly and Kvyat, Norris, Sainz, Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, Leclerc, Perez, Sebastian Vettel and Stroll, Russell, Martinez, Kevin Magnussen and Antonio Giovinazzi, Grosjean and Nobuharu Matsushita. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
It's time for the British Grand Prix, and we start from P16 on the grid. So we've got a massive task on our hands here today. Now, every single time in this game, I really struggle around here, but I'm making it my mission this race to try and have a good race and get into the points. This is by far the AI's strongest circuit. You can see Russell on my left in the end finished P15 in qualifying, which is a bit disappointing. He had better pace than that, but you know what? I'm not complaining. Hopefully he can fight his way forward with me in the race here today. Now, we're going to be super aggressive. The gloves are off. We're going to give it absolutely everything, and we're going to see what happens on the first lap. Race strategies, soft and medium. I usually have always started on mediums around here. This time we're going for the softs. I'm going to try and be super aggressive and competitive in the first stint to try and get myself into the race. Fuel wise, we're running one extra lap. Now, the target is to try and make these overtakes, but crucially stay within DRS range. You cannot fall away from the DRS train. If you do, you're going backwards. So the task is simple. Be aggressive, but don't lose contact with the top pack. So let's jump into it and let's see what happens. Okay, the gloves are off. We're going to take no prisoners and give it absolutely everything here. Lights out and away we go. Not a great start, but not terrible. Magnussen getting off to an absolute flyer though. We're going to go to the outside. Oh, that worked out well for us. We're on the outside again though, into turn 3. We're going to send it though. Look at this. Finding some space. That'll give us the inside line for turn 4. Stroll giving me, Perez giving me a big old squeeze there. I'm going to return the squeeze to him on the outside. And we're up to P12 already. What a start. Leclerc up in front and Ocon after him. As we head through Brooklands, let's see if we can use this aggression. I'm going to try and use pretty much most of my ERS in these first 2 laps, or at least a good chunk of it. You know, that's part of the aggression here. It seems like we've got very good straight line speed, so the engine upgrade has worked an absolute treat for us in terms of giving us a bit more straight line speed performance to kind of compete with these guys. So we're currently P12. Good start after Magnussen, of course, overtook us off the launch. Good recovery. And now we've got Leclerc and Ocon ahead of us as we head through Magus, Beckett's and then Chapel. Onto the hanger straight then. Let's drain the battery. Look at the speed we have on the straight as we close up to Leclerc here. Oh my goodness me, it's incredible. Up the inside of the Ferrari. Leclerc gets the cut back though. Went a bit too deep into there. But we're going to get it on the inside. And Leclerc will have to yield. And we're now P11. Great start. What a first lap. Gaining 5 places. That puts us right in the mix as we're now tucked in behind the 2 Renault Alpines. Okay, now we're talking. We're in the race. Let's keep this going. I'm going to keep the aggression up on this lap as well. See if we can get to the top 10 before the DRS gets enabled next lap and we start to have that DRS train effect. So we're going to keep pushing and giving everything in terms of the ERS. I'll probably drop below 50%. And there we go. The ERS is now enabled, which is absolutely perfect. So we've done the hard work. We've got ourselves right in the mix here. Just behind Ocon, but crucially at the back end of the top 10. And the race should start to stabilise. We've got 2 Alpines, 2 McLarens and 2 AlphaTauris ahead of us. Not ideal those AlphaTauris are ahead because we know what they're like in terms of straight line speed. They're going to probably drag everyone along. But for now, the hard work is done. We've got ourselves right in this race. Now we're going to see if we can pick off maybe a couple more places here. Everyone in the top 10 will have slightly more worn tyres than us, so we will have a slight advantage. And let's see if we can make it work. We've got very, very good straight line speed. Probably the best straight line speed I think I've ever had around this circuit, so I'll plan on using it. So let's see how that goes as Leclerc has a bit of a look behind us. I feel like I could be a little bit cheeky and get a move on Ocon somewhere. I'm just trying to find the right place for it. Seems like we've got a bit of a train ahead starting to form. Being led by one of the Mercedes cars. It's kind of created a bit of a separation, and the front 2 seem to have escaped. So this train is going to get quite fasty, I think. I wonder if I can get the move on Ocon here. I'm a little bit closer this time. Through turn 1, slight little lift just to keep the stability. Down the inside of the Frenchman, and we pick him off. Lovely. Up into P10. I was a bit closer leaving the final corner, and that gave me the invitation I needed. I knew I was going to get the run through 1 and 2, so it's just a matter of making it work. So there we go, into the top 10 on lap 5. What a start to the race and what a recovery. The aggression paying off, which is great. There's a bit of a battle ahead. One of the Red Bulls is getting sucked into the pack. I can't tell who it is. I think it's Albon. Yeah, I just saw Albon's name flash up there. So Albon maybe with some issues. We're going to get the move from Ricciardo here, maybe, out of nowhere, just around the outside. Ricciardo kind of backs off there, and we're going to push through with our straight line speed and make the move. We're going to cut to the inside to avoid getting dive bombed. And there we go, P9. And it seems like Albon's going backwards here, so seemingly maybe car issue. I've not had a radio communication, but I do have my radio messages turned pretty much off now. Or maybe he's got no ERS left, he's been defending, who knows, but might be another place up for grabs here as we tuck in behind Sainz. Ricciardo's going to get the run on me here. I'm going to have to go defensive into Maggots and Beckett's just to avoid having an aeroplane crash. These two are still going side by side. I'm trying to be a little bit careful. I don't want to lose an end plate. We can get both though. If I line this up perfectly, we're going to drain the entire battery with this one. Look at this. Look at the speed on the straight as we get past both of them. Into Stowe. Yes, P7. Come on, boys. This aggression is paying off. What a race so far. We're flying. I just got to make sure I stay within DRS of Lando Norris here. So we'll use a bit more DRS through here just to make sure we stay within a second, as the detection point is at turn 1. And there we go, purple sector 3, P7 in this race now. Come on. Personal best on that lap. Just trying to not use ERS and try and save a little bit back up after using quite a bit of it. And just staying within DRS range of Lando ahead. Sainz looking for a move, but I'm just dabbling with a little bit of ERS whenever I need to, just to make sure I keep the gap to the car behind, like right there for example. And that seems to be enough for us right now. Oh, yellow flag. Fiat with an issue. Just like that. We're now P6. Oh boy, and that could be a safety car actually. That could be a safety car. It is.
They're retiring from the race.
Yes.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
We're taking this. We're going to pit. Here we go. Into the pit lane. Easy does it. Don't speed. Okay. Perfection. Russell's going to pit as well. It's going to be a super busy pit lane. But this is insane. We're now net P6, having done our stop as well. This is going to be perfection. And the leaders have actually missed the pit cut because they're so far ahead. So we could gain even more once the leaders pit. We could be on for a podium here, boys. This is insane. Away we go. We've got released and we've jumped. I think we've jumped a couple of cars. We're behind Gasly now. So we've jumped Lando Norris, I believe. So we're now net P5. And I believe the top 2 have to pit, so that would mean net P3, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my goodness me. By far my best ever Silverstone race so far on this game with this AI level. And the best thing about all of this, it's both Mercedes who have stayed out, and they both have to pit, and they can't even pit the same lap. So This is looking great, not just for the race itself with damage limitation, but for the championship, this is huge. Oh, I was just literally behind, and that's a car pulling off.
Some information on Ocon. They are out of the race.
Okay, wow, double retirement. So Ocon now as well, so that's 2 cars out in the space of 2 laps. Looking at the minimap, I think Russell is in the points. Yes, he is. Wow, Russell's running in P8. Okay, this could be a great day for us. That is insane. What are the chances I just look behind and suddenly there's an Alpine just pulling off the road as I look behind? Right, we're down to 18 cars then. Okay, to my surprise, safety car's in this lap, and I've not done enough tyre warm-up, so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to just try and get some temperature in as much as I can and weave the car. There we go, that should do the trick. Getting ready for the restart then, here we go. Let's try and get away well. Easy on the traction, on the cold tyres. There we go, back underway. Okay, net P5. Merck's still yet to pit. Let's see when they pull the trigger. But right now, I believe Verstappen is the new net race leader. Gasly's running in P2. Oh, tyres are cold. No grip. Leclerc's going to try around the outside of turn 4. We're going to shut him off. I need to stay within a second of Gasly here. This is very, very important. This is crucial, crucial stuff now. And then there we go. One of the Mercs pit. It's Bottas, so Hamilton stays out for 1 more lap. I've had a good recovery. Second half of the lap has been good. I've managed to just about stay within a second of Pierre Gasly here without using all of my ERS. I think we've survived the little scare on the cold tyres and we're back up to full pace now, which is good. What a lap. We've actually dropped Leclerc out of DRS range. That is fantastic. Purple sector free from us. And we've stayed within DRS of Pierre Gasly as well, which is really, really important. Hamilton's still out there. He's not pitting yet. Hamilton pits then. We're going to go through up into P3. Just trying to stay within DRS range of Pierre Gasly, who's just dropped me there. I've made a bit of an error. I think I've just done enough to stay within DRS range, but I'm literally running on fumes when it comes to actual ERS. This is going to be so close, but I think I've just held on to DRS on the Frenchman. About to find out. No, I haven't. I've dropped out. That's a shame. I mean, crucially, we've got a gap to Leclerc, so that's okay. But that's not ideal. I would have liked to have stayed with Pierre. Let's see if we'll try and get back in. Okay, looks like it's game over for us in terms of keeping up with Pierre Gasly. Norris has passed Leclerc, so I'm going to see if I can save a bit of ERS before Lando arrives. Here comes Lando. He's closing in, but not quite close enough, so luckily no ERS used just yet. Trying to save as much as I can, basically. We're nearly at 40+%. Worth noting, it's Leclerc behind Norris, and then it's George Russell running in P6, and there's a bit of a gap behind to Sebastian Vettel, so this could work out beautifully for us as I just give Lando the squeeze there. He's looking for the move. Very cheeky from Lando there into turn 1, but no way through for user. I've got a bit of ERS to fight with now, just as we tick over 50%. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully Russell can get involved. That's what I'm kind of hoping for here. Hence why I'm backing Lando and Leclerc into my teammate. But let's see, here comes Lando Norris again. Going to defend the inside. He commits to the inside line though. I'm going to go the long way around and just get the momentum. That gives me the inside through Luffield. Just going to ease the throttle on a bit earlier and get ahead of Lando for now. Looks like he's going to try and fight back here. We're going to have to use a bit of ERS to get ahead into Cops, which we do, and we stay ahead. This battle is going to continue now all the way to the finish. Oops, completely overcooked it into turn 4. Luckily, we'll get a strong exit as a result. ERS looking pretty good now, 60%. We're looking pretty strong. Lando approaching again, but he's not close enough for the dive into Brooklands, or is he? He doesn't look, but we keep him pinned. I need George to make a move. I feel like he's lacking a bit of pace to really make something happen. He's got that straight on speed that I've got, but not much more than that, to be honest. And Sebastian Vettel's actually closing up now as well. I kind of feel like I need to pull away and drop everyone, but I don't really have the feel for it. I'll try in a minute. I feel like if Lando makes an error or something, I'm going to absolutely floor it and use the ERS again to build a gap in these final few laps, but I need to wait for the right opportunity. Lando having a look around the outside there, again sticking his nose in a bit of an unorthodox place. No point in trying to pull away yet. He's still too close to me. I'm going to hold back on the ERS and the fuel just right now. I'm not going to fully commit. Lando going for this move again here into Brooklands. Doesn't work out. And actually, Russell overtakes Leclerc in the process. Something happened behind. Not sure what happened exactly. Lando's right on my gearbox here. We're going to have to do some room on the inside. He pushes through. I'm going to keep my ERS pinned on. We're going to go on the outside of Cops here. Oh, that's a big move. Whew. Full commitment. Russell's got him. This is it. George is doing the business. And this is now our chance to pull away here. I'm going to give everything. Having Russell behind as my rear gunner is going to be huge in terms of helping me out here. So now is the time to go. We're going to have to push on the next lap. And give it absolutely everything. Let's go for it. I feel like I might let George go through tactically. I think it could be better for us. I can give him some protection and then potentially pass him on the last lap. I'm not sure. I'm considering my options. It hasn't really worked for me in the past when I go for that, but I want to make sure George stays ahead because of that reason. He's in a great position right now, and I want George to, beat Lando. But then again, this battle right here, it might be my chance to break away. Let's see. I'm going to push on now. They're both side by side battling. This is my opportunity to open a gap in the closing stages. We're going to go for it and pin it and see what happens. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All of the ERS we have. All of the fuel, we're going to just completely drain it. They're still side by side. So they're going to lose a lot of time. There we go. 1 second gap. Exactly what we want. Let's push. Verstappen fastest lap. That's an extra point for Max in the championship. Right now, the Ferraris can't quite keep up, so it's me versus Lando versus George. And I want to help George out, I really, really do. Here comes Lando. Last lap of the race, I'm going to just do enough to edge ahead into turn 1 using a bit of the ERS. This is the time now for George to get stuck in. I'm going to try and back Lando into him a little bit. See if we can get that to work. Runs a bit wide through 4. Bit of a tap on the rear there. Going to have to use the ERS here to keep Lando behind. Down towards Brooklands. So we've got enough straight on speed actually to keep Lando at bay. Going the long way around here. That's going to leave a gap for George to have a look, but he doesn't quite commit to it. Trying everything here to give Russell a P4 in his home race. I need to hold on to this last little bit of ERS here. Here comes Lando. Into Cops. George is going to have a look down the inside actually. Doesn't quite work, but again we're going to try and back Lando into him a little bit. See if it works out. Going to be purposely slow through here. And now we're going to just floor it. Give it everything we got. On the ERS, on the rich mix. Lando's going to get the run. Here comes George behind. Come on, George, son. Into Stowe. We're going to hold it. Yes, come on, George. Go for it, son. Around the outside we go. Missing the air bits completely. I'm more focused on the battle. Come on, George, you've got this. No, Lando's going to get it. We finished P3 though. Come on. Yes.
Plenty of action here at Silverstone. It was a memorable race, and what an impressive victory. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Look at The race results are in. Verstappen picks up the win, Gasly second. In the end, we dropped to 16 seconds off Verstappen and 12 seconds behind Gasly, considering we was right at the back of them for the restart. But we pick up a podium from P16 on the grid, and we did it on merit. We fought our way through. We were super aggressive with loads of moves, and we make it work. You know, too often at Silverstone, I've started on the mediums, gone to the soft tyre, and I've just been trying to hang on to the DRS, and it's just been very, very safe, and, you know, fighting for my life to kind of stay in the race and in the DRS train. But this time, we took it by the scruff of the neck, and we fight our way to P3. But not just that, Lando P4, George Russell P5. He delivers in the home race when it matters, and the upgrades this weekend seem to have made a massive impact for both of us, giving us a car to fight in qualifying and especially in the race. Leclerc ahead of Vettel, then we've got Ricciardo, Albon and Sainz rounding out the top 10. Hamilton fastest lap in P11, which means Verstappen does not get the extra point. Hamilton misses out on the points altogether in his home Grand Prix. He finishes ahead of Magnussen, Stroll, Grosjean, Perez, Giovinazzi, Bottas, P17, which is insane, Matsushita, and then Ocon and Kvyat out of the race. We look at the driver standings. Verstappen takes the lead. He's 26 points clear out front, but then we are tucked in very nicely in P4. We are just 4 points behind Bottas and 11 points behind Hamilton. So it's all to play for, and this was one of my worst races, and we've got through it. So with the upgrades right now, we're looking very dangerous. As for George Russell, with that points finish, he moves up to P15, so he actually overtakes Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin Racing Point. And then in the Constructors, we are third, 40 points clear from AlphaTauri, and overall a great day in the office here today. We're now going to move into the menu though, and we're going to put some more upgrades on for future races as we take a big step into F1's midfield.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, ultimately this was for the fans. You know, it's our home race, for myself, for George, for the team, and we just wanted to show, you know, the improvements of the package we made for this race, and also the step forward we've taken this season, which I really think has been a big one.
How do you feel about this team's performance this season?
Well, I think, you know, they're a super strong team. They'll always be, you know, near the top, and yeah, you know, I think they're always doing a good job.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Well then, so we look at the rivalry breakdown. Verstappen does pick up 2 extra points, but it's not going to be enough as we win the rivalry, which I cannot believe, but we're going to get an extra 2,200 acclaim points for that, and that's going to give us a big boost in terms of getting closer to level 14. So really happy with that. I did not expect to beat Max Verstappen, but we can now jump into some upgrades. Okay, so we've got 10 days until the next race at the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're going to get an extra few resource points on the 27th, but crucially, we have 2,447 points to spend. So we're going to go ahead and spend those in the power department. We are still top of the charts. Chassis-wise, we're 4th from bottom, so we're kind of entering the midfield. And then on the aero, we are still at the bottom, so we're going to go ahead and do some more work there. We're going to go for a front wing or front end, you know, upgrade. I could try to rush it. I'm going to play it safe. I want these to arrive without any issues, so we're going to get that in the car, and we're going to save the other 700 points, and we will hopefully buy this one at the end of the next episode, and that will really help improve our downforce. But guys, that's going to be it from me here today for this episode of the Williams Road to Glory. We're back on it, and we're going to approach the second half of the season super aggressively as we begin the title charge. But guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, leave a like, subscribe for more daily F1 content on the channel. As always, a big thank you to the members for supporting the content. As always, I see you and I appreciate all of you. And if you haven't done so already, guys, check out the 2 videos on your screen, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.